And look at this. Oh, look at this. I have never seen. Look at this. Another attempt to come up in front of him here. Getting him to just pull over. Everything's going to be fine. Just, oh, look at that.
Welcome to Viral Twist. Instead of speeding through traffic, this driver cruised slowly, stopped at red lights, and had CHP scratching their head.
You know, you almost get the impression with this particular, and of course, Colleen and David, all of these are so different, but just looking at the behavior here, you almost wonder if this driver doesn't realize how serious of a situation it is that he is not pulling over. Obviously, he's got the police behind him. Maybe he's just hoping that they will give up, but it could be as easily as he just doesn't want to be pulled over. He doesn't have insurance, maybe he doesn't have his license on him. We know he doesn't have any plates on the car. It does raise the possibility, or the question at least, whether this is his vehicle. But assuming it's his vehicle, and this is an unusual tactic here. Look at that SUV pulling in front of the suspect. This is the same unit that was trying to communicate with him at that red light, to no avail. A failed attempt, but a valiant effort to try and reason with the suspect as he was getting off of the freeway. But it just looks like he is continuing at a pretty casual pace here, not acting very desperate to get away, just refusing to pull over. In fact, he's stopping for most of the stoplights and traffic signals. And here comes another red light. He is coming up to the crosswalk there and coming to a complete pause. Light turns green, continuing through the intersection. We are on Hawthorne Boulevard at 166th Street. CHP, again, with a half a dozen units, continuing the chase, but not at a very fast pace, if you will. Right, that helicopter overhead is really doing that critical work of trying to observe anything that they possibly can, basically seeing a very similar picture that we're looking at here. Obviously, there's a cooler. You don't know what's in the cooler. You don't know if the suspect is armed or what's in the back seat there. Certainly, again, appears that he is the only person inside the car, just refusing to come to a stop here. But obviously, this is going to end eventually when this vehicle runs out of gas. He just is going to continue this joyride in the meantime along pretty, empty Inglewood streets here. This is holiday light traffic on a pretty mellow week here. And look at this. Oh, look at this. I have never seen CHP do that. This is the different vehicle, a different unit, pulling right in front of the suspect. And it makes you now really wonder if they have a clearer indication that this person is not so dangerous, if you will. I wonder what intelligence they are working with to come to these to come to these decisions, because this is not the most orthodox way of handling these pursuits. But I would venture to say they've probably, at this point, maybe put the idea of a pit maneuver on hold. Look at this, another attempt to come up in front of him here and cut him off. And look at that, with other traffic in the way, now they're almost antagonizing him, and he's just not pulling over. But they are trying some really unique tactics here to try and communicate and try and block him in. We very rarely, at least here in Southern California, we very rarely see them box these vehicles in. Resorting to some pretty unusual tactics that I wonder why. I wonder why they are trying to cut him off and pull in front of him like that. Yeah, right. For the first time, he just went through that red light, through the intersection at Torrance Boulevard, through a red light, and that is going to, increase the pressure here a little bit, I would imagine. Yeah, you're so right about that, Colleen, and it's just really just you're just trying to put yourself in his head, which is an impossible feat. But we've seen a lot of wild and crazy chases. This is not one of them. This is a relatively slow speed pursuit. The time is on the side of law enforcement here, especially as long as he's not posing a major danger to other motorists, and especially as long as the roads are this quiet. It will, eventually peter out, and again, it's just up to them whether they want to follow this to the end, hand this off to another agency, or give it up altogether. Blowing through these residential red lights, that's obviously, unsafe, but there's not a whole lot of cars or pedestrians out in general, but it's certainly going to increase the pressure on law enforcement to close in on him here. They were giving him more spectators taking some videos, always good for an extra few likes and a few more followers if you're in the right place at the right time. But certainly do so from a distance. And you can see him now coming up on PCH, stopping for this red light, and California Highway Patrol now behind him. Maybe they'll come around his left flank once again. This time it looks like they're keeping a little bit more of a distance. And Rob, if you could just widen out just 1 second, I want to see back on the 405, there were about 6 units. That has now decreased to 4 units on the ground. You see that SUV, 3 other Chargers, and the helicopter still overhead here as he encounters a red light at Hawthorne Boulevard and PCH. He could go through PCH here. He's just about a mile from the beach, and eventually he will have to make a turn. But right now he is actually obeying this red light, which will turn green here right now. That's right, weaving a little bit out, trying to put a little distance between him and that primary unit when he has a chance. He's just passing Crenshaw Boulevard. We're on the edge, by the way, to help you get your bearings. We're kind of on the edge of Torrance, either in Torrance's jurisdiction or Rancho Palos Verdes. I can't tell you exactly, but he is continuing down Hawthorne Boulevard. It might even be the border between the two, between Torrance and Rancho Palos Verdes. But in any event, CHP still the lead agency here. When California Highway Patrol is in pursuit, they are almost always the solo agency involved. It is their party unless they make a call that they need some mutual aid from another agency here. But in this case, they seem to have a handle on it. And we'll see what they decide to do or how much steam this guy has left as he continues into the Rolling Hills area. Well, they would, except if you noticed a moment ago, there was one unit, one of the rear units came up from behind him, sped right past him. He's now a good quarter mile to a half mile ahead of him. He's going to have to get a little bit further down Hawthorne Boulevard, assuming here comes another unit trying to slow him down, and that's going to give that, yeah, exactly right. You're exactly right. Slowing him down, giving that other Charger the opportunity to set up for a spike strip. These are, I can't stress enough, these are unconventional tactics. I can't remember the last time I saw a Southern California police officer try to actually slow a pursuit vehicle down by pulling in front like that, or even attempting to box in a pursuit suspect. But they obviously have made a determination that this driver is, not enough of a threat that he's going to, pose a bigger risk already. But it looks like they just have not had a chance to set up for that spike strip. He's just going too fast at this point. He slowed him down just a little bit, but that lead unit, I don't think was able to lay anything down there. So he's continuing. He's now got, I think, all of the units back behind him. He's continuing down Hawthorne Boulevard, and so far, no opportunity to set up for that spike strip. Coming up on Silver Spur Road, by the way, he will continue the tactic of trying to look for a spot to set up for that spike strip. There's another local police officer that he just passed there. And now they're creating traffic breaks at intersections ahead. So that leads me to believe that maybe they're looking for an opportunity ahead to lay down that spike strip. But you don't want any civilian vehicles to run over that spike strip. So you basically, create that traffic break so that nobody else can, join the lanes next to him or in front of him. But I just don't think they have enough manpower to do it. It just seems like they're a little bit behind the 8 ball for a spike strip. And by the way, these spike strip attempts, when they work, they're really skillful, and really it's not just skill, it's also a bit of luck at the same time. They are one of the more complicated tactics to employ during a pursuit. But when you have a slow speed pursuit, you have much better odds. But in general, spike strips are hard. They are a hard tactic to set up for. They're hard to employ. It requires usually a lot of manpower, and a lot of times just a whole lot of luck that you have the right officer that has the spike strip ready at the right time ahead of the pursuit suspect and able to lay it down without any collateral damage. So a lot of things have to fall into place for a successful spike strip. But here you have Yeah, he's kind of gesturing at the officer, trying to communicate, and you can see the officer. He's willing to negotiate. He's not I'm sure he's using every negotiating tactic that he has been taught, and just getting him to just pull over. Everything's going to be fine. Just, oh, look at that, an opportunity to box him in, and now they've done it, and they don't feel like he's going to go anywhere.